Coming up this month, personalized ChatGPTs. OpenAI releases a GPT-4 that is super powerful, and GitHub gives us a transformative experience you'll want to see. I'm Adam Cogan. Let's get into it. All right, welcome to the SSW Tech News. Let's get into it. Now, the first piece of tech news came from the keynote of OpenAI, where Sam Altman gave us so much news, but one of the things was how that they have released a whole bunch of these customized ChatGPTs, and there's so many of these. If you've got a problem with your laundry, you can use the Laundry Buddy. There's Tech Advisors, there's Game Time, there's so many of these. Unfortunately, there's been a whole bunch of little startups that have based their startup on the OpenAI services, and now they're out of business. Big shame there. And how do you build this? Well, you build this just without any code. In fact, I should mention, if you went back to, say, SSW here, we even built one ourselves. If you go to Rules and you go to Rules GPT, we spent many weeks building this Rules GPT, and it will answer any question that you want. But we don't need to write code anymore to build a solution like that. You could build it in here, and you would have a nice little solution built very quickly. So it's pretty awesome. And it accepts images and does a lot more than it used to do. Now, they also mentioned how the OpenAI services got really powerful. So we have GPT-4 used to support 2K, now supports 128K. So way more powerful, can accept a lot more text and also images, etc. Next piece of news. The data that we were using when we asked ChatGPT was back in 2021. So it was over 2 years old. It is now current. So it's almost current, up to April 2023. So if you wanted to ask who was the US president at the beginning of 2023, you'll get an answer now. So, and also you've got the browser add-in, so you can get up-to-date answers. Next piece of news. This was a huge conference, the Universe 2023, all GitHub, and they talk Copilot. You'll see a nice little infographic here. But if you're using the mobile app, you will have GitHub Copilot chat. So you'll be able to find a GitHub issue or find some code, get assistance on a pull request. It's going to be a really nice experience. In addition, we've been using Copilot with Visual Studio and VS Code. They now have one for Writer in beta, and you can use the same experience in the browser. They've given a lot of information here. You can look at some of the videos and get a very quick idea of it. I'll just show you. So let's have a look at what this video is. Okay, so this guy is looking at this regex and goes, what the hell is this? Regexes are often considered a solution for a problem that doesn't exist. Anyway, this developer, let's just say he hasn't written it, he wants to know what it says. Over on the right, you'll see this little guy. So let's just see what happens here. He clicks on the little guy and says, explain that code. It pops open and says, sure, this is what I understand. This regex does this, and this regex does this, and this regex does this. And that's pretty awesome. That is really good at explaining code. I think they've got a couple of other videos here. And I would say, let's have a look at this. So here we've got some code, and you'll notice he's going to click on this little gadget. Now this code, what does this code do? It looks like it grabs some data and probably just renders it in the browser. So there it is. If we step back a bit, he clicks on apps, and under apps, there's a whole bunch of different services in there. One of them might be Data Stacks, or Launch Darkly, Postman, and this is now going to say, look, how's this query performing? And they do a whole lot of performance, the performance of the query varies, et cetera, et cetera. So it's giving a whole lot of information. Then it says, well, how do I improve it? and it will then say, this is what you need to do. Create an index, use prepared statements, etc. So, all fascinating stuff. I'll play the rest of this. And you can go into apps, and now we're using Launch Darkly. So Launch Darkly is a service that you put in your code, and you have feature toggles, and you can do A/B testing. And is this flag enabled in production? So I selected some code, and it's going to look up what's in production, and it says it's partially enabled for 20% of the users. And now you can use it for Postman, and you get the idea. You can start integrating your code with all these services while you're writing code. So very, very cool. Let's look at the other ones. There is this one too. I will play that. So here we have a pull request. Some code's been written, and automatically, without even being asked, some GitHub Advanced Security bot said, I found some problems. So you go, wow, what are the problems? Well, it explains what the problems are and says, do you want to dismiss what I found, or do you want to commit it? See that commit fix? So maybe we might just say, well, yeah, I think it knows what it's talking about. I'll take commit, thank you. Commit. And merge the pull request, and you're good to go. That's pretty awesome. Would you want your developers developing without a tool like that? You can, and obviously that's why you choose the Advanced Security subscription. Let's have a look at this guy. Okay, now, so what are we looking at here? We're looking at a GitHub issue. So someone's opened something here. All right, so I would consider this a simple issue with a little bit of information here and an image. Oh, and the image has an arrow saying the GitHub handle should go here. So I've seen better GitHub issues than this, but it's okay, so you could work with that.
No issues. So we created an AI native workflow that dramatically simplifies the way you use natural language to turn these great ideas into code. We call it the Copilot Workspace. Starting with any GitHub issue, Copilot Workspace.
All right. So let's have a look at this. It is, it's got the topic about the GitHub handle missing on that image. And then it's saying automatically, this is what I'm identifying, that the contributor does not display the handle. This component is rendering this. There's no stylized component. The issue is this. So this is what it identifies that it sees. And this is what it's identifying that it's proposing that it would change. So if it guesses it right, or understands it correctly, you can just take it. So
Proposes a solution based on its deep understanding of the code base, issue replies, link tasks, everything.
now, what if it almost got it right? What would you do then? Well, let's have a look.
Copilot Workspace then builds a step-by-step plan to implement the changes so that you know exactly what needs to be done. That's something that isn't quite right. The spec and plan
See? So they've gone in to edit it, and they'll make any changes that it didn't quite get.
are fully editable, so you can easily steer Copilot in the right direction. Once you're happy with the plan, simply click Implement and let Copilot chase down the necessary changes across your entire repository. And beyond simply synthesizing code,
Is that scary that it said what it could see, said what it's going to do, and then showed you the code it's going to make?
Copilot Workspace builds and tests the changes and validates that they're successful.
Just before you say create pull request, you can run it and just check that it's all working nicely.
Validates that they're successful. It will even run your code.
Now look at this. So it's run it and it's checked it's all okay, and there's a little browser thing here. So you can click that to see what it looks like when it runs in the browser.
Verify the fix visually. This is great. Since the workspace is designed for collaboration, you can edit any of the suggested changes. And if you accidentally introduce an error along the way, Copilot will automatically catch it, repair it, and rerun the code. Once the issue is fixed, it's easy to create a pull request with a generated summary of your work. This lets your team review, merge, and deploy faster than ever. We're building Copilot Workspace so you can turn your creativity into reality every single day.
I've been doing this for a long time. I've never seen a demo like that. That is out of control. Anyway, you can get a good handle on that. I don't think you should be having any developers not trying to get abreast of this. Next piece of news. Well, nothing will be as good as that. Let's move on to this. This is NextJS. Now, we're using NextJS on many of our sites. We're on NextJS 13. So 14 is coming, and I guess the most important thing is you see it's 53% faster local server startup and 94% faster on code updates with fast refresh. So look, there's a whole chunk of other stuff, but that's enough for me to say go with it. Next piece of news. This is Aussie news. We're very excited about this. Microsoft is already the default cloud for Australian government, which we work in. Obviously, that's awesome. They are now committed to spend another $3 billion in Australia. And what they basically says is they've got 20 data centers, they're moving to 29 data centers. So that should be awesome. Let's look at the next piece of news. For all those Apple MacBook enthusiasts, then we've gone from M2 to M3. Awesome. Next. Now, I think this is really important. When you have an image, you need to know if it was AI generated. They're going to have these invisible watermarks, so you'll be able to tell. I think that's really important. The same with videos. If they've been touched, I think we need to make sure that there is something in it to say this is not a genuine video. Otherwise, we're not going to know what truth is and what it isn't. Next one. Oh my goodness. Elon Musk has announced that he has a new AI chatbot like ChatGPT, but he's going to say it's more humorous. Now, of course, as usual, he announces this well before there is anything. He's very keen on it. If you're reading his tweets, there's a lot of crazy tweets he does. He says that his AI chatbot called Grok will be sarcastic and humorous. He said it's going to answer spicy questions that all other systems would reject. Okay, good. And then to demo it, he asks for a step-by-step guide to making cocaine. Is this nuts? And it responds, just a moment while I pull out the recipe because I'm totally going to help you with that. And then, cannot believe this. And then it lists some generalized rather than useful information combined with some sarcastic suggestions before warning against pursuing the idea. Okay. On to other similar things. We have Google investing $2 billion into Anthropic, and that is a rival to OpenAI. So that's great news that there is more and more of these. You should probably sign up for Claude, which comes from Anthropic. Okay, so that is another one to check. So you got Claude, Bart, OpenAI, and the Chinese ones. And obviously the AI stuff is getting scary, and we've got a few wars going on in the world. The US and China, this is great news, that they get together and they talk about the fact that we will not use AI technology in autonomous weaponry. Okay, I'm glad that they're speaking, so that's good. All right, MidJourney. They will be releasing some mobile app, which is much better than using Discord, so that's great news. And Baidu. Baidu is the Google of China. They do a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of big clouds in China. Tencent is enormous. And there's AliCloud as well. And they're all producing AIs. This Baidu's one says the Ernie AI is not inferior in any aspect to GPT. So that's good. So actually, I'm heading to China at the end of this week. I'll report back. And Ignite. Yeah, Ignite is coming up. So we've had some big conferences from GitHub and OpenAI. Now we're going to get one from Microsoft, and we'll find out what they've been doing and what's new. So that should be very exciting. We'll be talking about that next month. Hopefully you found that useful. If you have any questions, throw it down there in the comments. If I missed any questions, also throw it down there in the comments. Enjoy the user group coming up. We have heaps and heaps of videos on our channel. Go and see them. I think that you'll find lots of cool tech for Microsoft developers. And until next time, this is Adam Cogan signing off for SSW TV.